Well, hello. It is me, Stephanie, a fellow person. I have pretty much just been staring at this camera for about 10 seconds, not quite sure exactly how to start this video, so I'm gonna definitely be editing a lot of pauses out of this. I've been thinking about this topic for a while because I have found myself, probably like you, with a little bit more time on my hands than usual. Thinking as a creative person or person who likes to have a lot of creative things going on, like, oh, why am I not doing this or that, or having so many things, so many projects, so many ideas for things to do. But of course, like, this is not a normal time. We are in a crisis time. So I thought I should talk to myself as a person in the future, or talk to maybe people who are in the same kind of situation as me or the same kind of mindset as me about how to approach your creativity during a crisis time. And before I even talk about that particular aspect of life, I'm just going to say the overarching theme of this video is not to try to force anything really in any aspect of your life unless you absolutely need to survive to do it, unless it's for your work or if it's for your family. Don't try to force anything right now. It's gonna be weird and things are gonna be different, and we're gonna have to be okay with that. It's an uncomfortable time for sure. So if I were to define the word crisis in my own words, I would say that it's a time of uncertainty and or a removal of norms, right? You have your job that you wake up for in the morning or in the evening. You have your routine for how you get ready for that thing you do every day. And suddenly we're in a space where those norms are taken away. So we don't know what's going to happen because everything that we've relied on that has given us results that we could count on is suddenly out the window, right? We don't have anything that's for certain. Maybe we never did. And if you're really practiced in whatever your creative outlet is, now is the time to prepare for a period of disengagement, right? Like, you just are not going to be in the same headspace that you were when you were being productive in your creative pursuits, because there's a crisis going on. We have things that are more pressing on our minds. That's okay. That's really okay. Can you tell that I'm telling myself this more than I'm trying to tell other people this? This is part of what this video is. You know, meta. You're gonna be going through a period that feels like just going through the motions for a while, and maybe you're not quite as hands-on with what is happening around you as normal. You're gonna feel like maybe you're letting things go. Maybe you are just not in your routine anymore. Especially if you're a person like me who has never really adhered that strongly to a routine to begin with, and whatever small routine I used to have is just gone. It's really tempting to want to adhere to all of your previous routines that you'd had before, and if you can, that's awesome. I really admire people who can just do those things. What it really comes down to is practice. Like, you are practiced at sticking with your everyday, day-to-day tasks, and that is really important too. Like, that's what we have to hold on to right now, the things that we've practiced. We're reduced to what we practiced in our highest and lowest moments. It all comes down to, like, the whole mindfulness thing. Like, if you practice being mindful of the things that you're doing, then when it comes to the chance where you don't have time to think about it, you're just gonna be able to go through the motions anyway. If you find that you cannot adhere to everything that you'd set up, everything that you'd practiced, and it's just all crumbling apart, don't get mad at yourself. That is a waste of your energy, right? Don't be disappointed in yourself. Just observe that that's happening. Like, I noticed after my big band stopped meeting that I didn't practice the trumpet for a good solid week. Like, even just a little bit. Didn't pick up the horn at all. And even right now, I'm only playing like maybe 30 minutes a day. But here's the thing, like, in a crisis, if you are entering a personal depression, when the institutions around you have lost the meaning they once held, it doesn't matter so much anymore. We build up these practices so that we can really go through processes. That doesn't make any sense. So it may or may not work to just keep going with whatever you practiced before. That's okay. Don't force it. In the case of creativity or your creative process or the things that you do, your projects that are going on, your personal things, do not worry about being consistent during this time. It's just not necessary. You need space. You need your space to stare at the wall blankly, to obsessively listen to the news and notice the numbers climbing high. You need that space. This is what this time is for. And really, we just have to acknowledge, if you have the privilege of having this kind of space, that you're safe right now, right? That is the most important thing. Bottom of Bloom's taxonomy, safe place to live. Allow yourself the space to feel sad. Allow yourself the time to cry. Because it's okay to cry. We have a difficult situation going on. And it's okay to be very upset. It's also okay if you don't feel super upset right away, if it hits you later. And it's also okay if you're not feeling feelings, because the truth is, the human mind is really good at protecting itself. So acknowledge that your brain is doing a good job, but that you might be pretty uncomfortable later with your emotions. If you're in a space where the emotions haven't really hit yet and you're still kind of processing things logically and you're thinking about the situation and assessing the situation, you might want to think about assessing what the role of creativity is going to be for you during this time. Is it going to be about you processing the feelings that you're processing, or is it going to be more about what actually comes out or the message you send? Is it going to be about your internal world, or is it going to be about what you present to other people? For me, since I have a platform and I have people that listen, I have an audience, it's a little bit of both. I started writing songs just to process things on my own, was happy to have people that were willing to listen, and I'm going to continue for this process to be about myself and how I'm going through this. That being said, I'm making this video to help you if you are struggling with this, because I want to help give other people the tools that they might need or want or not know that they're lacking to be able to express themselves as well. This is a rare opportunity that we have, this kind of space to really assess what's going on and to reach out to other people and think about our feelings. And if you get that far, this might be the time to assess your relationship with criticism. And there's two ways you can do that: either criticism from an audience, other people, or self-criticism. I tend to be more critical of my own work. If I don't think it's very good, if I don't think it has something substantial that the world is going to appreciate, I'm just not going to let it be. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't important that I made it. If something turns out to not be that great, it's just like any other time that you're being creative. If something isn't that good, you don't need to share it. You just have to know where you lie with that, where you are in that spectrum of like whether you think your stuff is valuable or not. That it really doesn't matter. It's about just processing. I guess what I'm trying to say is try to remove whatever filter of criticism you have on your own self, whatever you think you've had to improve upon before, because that doesn't matter right now. What matters is that you do a thing that helps you feel better. Why do we do this thing? Why do we do this thing that helps us express ourselves? Well, so we can express ourselves, so that we can feel our feelings, process our feelings. Put that filter of criticism. What is everyone going to think about this? What am I going to think about this? Is this my best work? It's going to ruin everything. It's going to take away the whole reason that you started being creative in the first place. At least I would assume, because I'm not you. I'm only me, and I know that I started creating because I wanted to. Which kind of brings us back to the other point. If you don't want to create something, you don't have to. There is no obligation here. And I think that if you have a consistent audience that appreciates your work, and you're very lucky in that way, I think your audience is going to understand if you don't feel like creating or doing something that day, because they're in that place too. And this just might be the time where you can reach out and say, hey, I'm feeling really down because of how the world is right now. We're in a crisis, and I just don't feel like it. People are going to understand because they don't feel like it either. So I hope that you found this video helpful if you are a person who creates anything, even if it's just coloring, even if it's just writing your own songs, performing other people's songs, writing poetry, making videos. I hope this was helpful for you. If you feel stuck, it's normal. And if your process was different, if your kind of timeline with how you processed this situation has been different, I would love to hear about how your process has been different from mine. So yeah, please do comment. The truth is, we're all struggling and it's fine, but it's not fine. I guess it's okay to not be okay. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you to everyone who comes and listens and appreciates what I have to share. So, till next time, stay mindful, stay musical, stay out of trouble.